Today, we're exploring the work of S C SAYLES, specifically the book Sample, The Song of Reality, The Architecture of Creation. Let's start with the big question at the center of this book. Why is the universe intelligible at all? Why does it sometimes feel less like a bunch of chaotic stuff and more like a song or a book or something patterned and beautiful instead of a mess? Sayles asks, if everything around us could have been random, why does it seem meaningful, like it's composed? And if it's composed, does it make sense to talk about a composer, a singer, an author? This might sound a bit abstract, but think about the last time you looked at the stars and thought, wow, there's something poetic about this. Or maybe you've wondered if science and meaning, like deep cosmic meaning, can ever fit together. Sayles takes that wonder very seriously and sets out to show, or at least to propose, that reality is not a meaningless accident but an intentional, intelligent, and even musical creation. How does Sayles tackle this? Well, he pulls from physics, philosophy, theology, even literature. There are references to Plato, Aristotle, Newton, quantum mechanics, information theory, the Gospel of John. It's a lot. But the thread that runs through it all is this idea that the universe is written like a code or a story, and that code is ultimately structured by what he calls the logos. Now, logos is a loaded word. For Sayles, it's not just logic or reason, it's the eternal word, as in, yes, the biblical word, Jesus Christ. So if you're thinking, is this science, philosophy, or theology? The answer is all three braided together. Let's dig into a few of the tangible insights from the sample. First off, Sayles spends a long time talking about the collapse of materialism, the idea that the universe is just stuff. He tells how classical physics, with its atoms and gears and Newtonian mechanics, sort of gave way to the weirdness of quantum mechanics, where reality depends on observation and information turns out to be more fundamental than matter. Your DNA, he says, isn't just chemicals, it's information. Even black holes, which should destroy everything, seem to keep track of what falls into them. So, is information the real foundation of everything? Second, there's the curtain imagery. Sayles loves metaphors, where he uses the quantum experiment with the two slits to argue that reality isn't fully real until it's like observed or read. Like a play behind a curtain, nothing happens until the audience is present. And here's the core jump. If information is primary, then maybe reality is more like music being performed or a book being read, a process, not a thing. He also deals with entropy, how everything runs down, gets more disordered over time, and suggests that our desire for beauty, order, and renewal might be a clue to something deeper, as in we resist entropy, we long for meaning, maybe because we're meant for something more than decay. There's a lot of philosophical theology in there, but also practical resonance, like everyone's noticed how quickly things fall apart. From a garden gone wild to relationships that wither without care. One idea Sayles emphasizes: our minds are symbolic. We can only understand the world through signs and metaphors, like icons on a computer desktop. We never deal with raw reality, but with symbols that point to deeper structures. So for Sayles, the symbolic mind, our way of seeing the world as meaningful, isn't a flaw. It's fundamental to how reality works. The universe is, in a sense, written for us to read. Now, what does all this mean for you, listening at home, maybe thinking, so what? Here's the thing. Sayles is suggesting that whether you're a scientist or a poet or just someone wondering if there's more, you might look at the world differently if you see it as information, as symbol, as story, rather than just stuff. It invites you to reflect. Maybe reality really is more relational, more alive, more intentional than we thought. Maybe even the meaning in your daily life isn't an illusion at all. It's an echo of something built in. Again, I'm not here to endorse or critique Sayles' conclusions. I just want to say that if nothing else, research like this invites us all to revisit our own assumptions. If the world really is a song, if it really is written, who's the singer, who's the author,